Good evening. Hope everybody's having a good Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Whatever. Today was just a normal day for us. We didn't do anything, nothing out of the ordinary. Pardon me. Had great value breaded chicken and broccoli for dinner, and I was hungry a little bit later on, and got to digging and looking and realized I hadn't tried the beef stew Mountain House yet, so I tried one of those out. Meh. It's edible, but not great. Anyway, and we all have our own taste, so other people may think that's delicious. Sorry. Yeah, some people might think that's delicious. It, just kind of, it seemed a little bit bland to me, and I don't know, I'm kind of undecided on the flavor of the beef, the meat that was in it. I don't know if it was that or if it was something else in it that was throwing it off, but anyway, hey there, Tofu. I thought I'd have fun with the title. One of the headlines that I had shared actually early this morning is about what's going on in China and their new brush with COVID. And, this is going to affect us one way or another. I have no doubt that it will add to the supply chain woes. It's, I don't know. I have a feeling that this is going to get much larger, and the reason why is because there's already some, it's like 31,000 some odd people that they said have COVID, and it's actually a new daily record. Well, let me bring up, hang on. China sets record for daily COVID-19 cases. China on Wednesday registered its highest number of daily coronavirus infections since the start of the pandemic almost 3 years ago, official data has shown. There were 31,444 new cases of the disease in the country on November 23rd, of which 3,927 were symptomatic and 27,517 asymptomatic, the National Health Bureau announced on Thursday. See, they have this zero COVID policy. The figures surpassed the previous 24-hour infection record set on April 13th, which amounted to 29,317 cases. Beijing has been pursuing a strict zero COVID policy since the first outbreak of the disease in the city of Wuhan in late 2019, with strict lockdowns, widespread testing, meaning the current number of infections is still low compared to many other countries. Yeah, you remember back when they were like welding people into buildings and stuff like that, when they were building these like COVID centers, and then, I don't know, I think the COVID centers kept catching fire or something. It was odd. It was odd. But anyway, this goes on to say, let's see, the highest ever infection rate, the highest ever infection rate was recorded by the U.S., the nation worst hit by the pandemic, with 1.35 million new cases on a single day in January. China relaxed some of the rules aimed at tackling the virus earlier in November, easing quarantine requirements for those entering the country and simplifying a system for designating high-risk areas. However, rising caseloads in cities including Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou prompted the authorities to tighten restrictions. In the capital, people now require a negative PCR test result less than 48 hours old to be able to enter shopping malls, hotels, government buildings, and other public areas. Schools in Beijing have also moved to online classes according to the local authorities. So, whether or not it's going to rear its head here again and be like it was once before, I don't know. I have no idea. I think if they feel like they can successfully fearmonger the people into doing that again, I damn well think they'll try. I really, if you were to ask me what my opinion on whether or not I would think they would succeed with another round of COVID nonsense, I'm not saying they're not going to try, but I don't think they're going to get very far. I really don't. I don't think it's going to work. I think they may try, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I think that they've got much bigger fish to fry than that. That's kind of an incorrect place to use that saying, but when I say that, I mean I think that there are other areas that they are going to come after us with more so than the COVID stuff. I do think that they are going to make one hell of a push against the Second Amendment. I really see that coming. And I think that a recent massive increase in incidents involving firearms is going to be much of the push into that. And I think there's going to be many more instances. And I'm sorry to say that. I do. I think there's just something weird going on. And keep a close eye on how things pan out. I really think that they're going to be making that push, that strong push, anti-Second Amendment push, within the year. And I honestly don't think that they're going to be stopped. And that's just my opinion. I think that they're going to get enough people on board to at least, I'm not saying that they're going to do a full semi-auto ban or anything like that. But I could definitely foresee them getting something involving AR-15 style rifles as far as new ownership. I have a feeling maybe they'll probably try to stifle that. I don't know. They'll get whatever they can take, that's for sure. And you give them a little bit, they'll take as much as possible. I don't know. All we can do is sit back and watch. I really do foresee quite a few more incidents coming. Yeah, sip coffee. I had a couple of bottles of Coffee Mate creamer. Now I'm back to the store brand generic stuff. Takes me a little bit to get used to. The generic's got a little bit of a wang to it. Alright, what's that? Oh. Yep. Yep, and I'm even more scrawny. I lost what even little bit of mass that I used to have. Not that I had any, but yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Buck U2 knows me from some of my more crazy days in life. Telling you, I was a hellion. Let's see. I've got, how many do I got? Oh, I can count. 4. I've got 4 more articles that I pulled up to talk to you about. One of them is actually, well, after talking to you about the last article, scientists revive 48,500-year-old virus. And I'm thinking, now, what the hell are you doing, right? I mean, why are we trying to revive these viruses? Are we looking for, a zombie apocalypse, or what are we doing here? But apparently, like this particular virus, along with others that they have found, I think there's 9 of them now, that are like ancient viruses that they've come across. However, and it's a big however, the type of virus that they are encountering, how is it that here it is. All viruses revived by the team belong to the Pandora virus type. Don't you like that, though? That makes you feel better, right? The Pandora virus type. But it says a group of giant viruses only capable of infecting single-cell organisms like amoebas. It says yet the fact that all 9 ancient viruses were still capable of infecting living cells after spending tens of thousands of years in permafrost means that other viruses, potentially contagious for plants, animals, or even humans, trapped there could be released and revived as well, the scientists warn. So a little bit of fear-mongering thrown in, but yeah, that's crazy. But I did learn that, because that's not the first one, and I've heard multiple times when they've ran across a new virus up there in the permafrost. And now I know that, at least at this point in time, that they don't pose any risk or anything like that. This is the first time I recall reading an article where they explain that about the type of viruses. So, let's see. Got a few more here. Hang on a second. Okay, much better. Alright, OECD predicts how energy shock will affect Eurozone. It says here increased energy prices are taking a heavy toll on the world economy, particularly the Eurozone, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development warned on Tuesday. According to its report, the worst energy crisis since the 1970s will trigger a sharp slowdown worldwide, with the euro area hit the hardest. The OECD forecasts that global economic growth will slow from 3.1% this year to 2.2% in 2023, before accelerating to 2.7% in 2024. We're not predicting a recession, but we are certainly projecting a period of pronounced weakness, OECD chief, Matthias Cormann was quoted as saying by Reuters. The 19-country Eurozone economy was projected to grow 3.3% this year, then slow to 0.5% in 2023 before recovering to expand by 1.4% in 2024. That is slightly better than in OECD's September outlook, when it estimated growth of 3.1% this year and 0.3% in 2023. The OECD predicts a contraction of 0.3% next year in Euro area powerhouse Germany, whose industry-driven economy is highly dependent on energy imports from Russia. French economy, which is far less dependent on Russian gas and oil, is expected to grow by 0.6% next year. Italy's growth is projected at 0.2%, which means several quarterly contractions are probable. So, again, nobody's doing well right now, whether it be with energy, whether it be with economy. So that's something to really keep an eye on as we kind of watch everything. Because if one thing is going to lead to a world war, it's going to be a very unstable global economy. And, I don't believe that the United States has any intentions of paying any money owed, on all the big bills. All right, let's see. French economy at risk due to rising gas prices, says energy minister. And this, I fear, is threatening any country right now. I know I will certainly feel better once we get diesel here and I can start using that heater again. Not only does it make me cringe every time I look and I see these heaters on, these electric heaters on, because I know how much it's costing, but, I just, like I say, I like that other heat better, and I like the idea that I'm much more dependent on ourselves if I'm using that diesel heater versus the electric heaters, because, there's 4,500 watts of electric heaters right now running. And so, with that one diesel heater, which we'll just say takes just a little over a gallon of diesel a day to operate. It also only takes about, an average of, say, 30 watts to run, power-wise. So, not bad, And if your diesel fuel, say, $5 a gallon, you're looking at roughly about $5 a day for your heat. Now, you can get a little bit better than that, but, that's about around the average. So, and we won't need to use it when temperatures are about 45 or 50 and above. In that case, it would probably be better off for us to run the electric heaters because, for one, the diesel heater will pretty much run us out of the house, and also, even on all the way low, it's too much heat for the house, and you're just wasting diesel at that point. So, yeah, I had a wood stove for the entire time I was growing up. Well, not, I guess, probably about 7 or 8 maybe when Dad put that in, that wood stove. But yeah, a good part of my life growing up, yep, definitely wood stove. Been out there cutting wood many a time. Then lucked out because my dad got a job where he got a bunch of wooden blocks just given to him. And so we didn't have to go out and cut wood no more. Let's see. And it was nice. They're talking, what was it, like 4 by 5 or 4 by 6, something like that. They were pine and oak. They used them. They were like the extra cut-off pieces. They would have used that particular size of wood for wood floors, I do believe, for like stadiums and stuff like that, or for like a basketball court. They would have used that type of wood blocks. So that's what they did, and they did pine blocks, they did wood blocks. Of course, they did railroad ties and stuff like that too. But anyway, yeah, that was awesome though. They Dad just loaded the pickup truck up with wood at work and brought it home. That was it. That was the end of the story. It was already all cut up, already fit right in the wood stove. Let's see. French economy at risk due to rising gas prices. Oh, I think I already read the headline. France risks losing some of its markets and may never get them back due to rocketing gas prices and the detrimental conditions for European production they create, the country's energy minister Agnes Pannier-Runacher said on Thursday. I'm sure I got that all wrong. Speaking at an emergency meeting of EU energy, damn, I can't even speak, ministers summoned in an effort to decide on how to bring energy prices down, she criticized the European Commission's proposal to cap the price of gas, saying that it would have little effect on skyrocketing prices. The price cap may be helpful, but is not a structural reform and is not a response to rising gas prices, which the EU production is facing and which is putting our economy at risk, she said. The official stressed that current gas prices, which are 5 to 10 times higher than 2 years ago, degrade France's industrial output and called for a structural solution to shield the economy. They proposed price limit would only rein in the cost in emergency cases, while in the long run it may disrupt the market. Pannier-Runacher said, urging that measures be implemented to prevent the situation where France risks losing part of its markets, with all the consequences it will have for producers and jobs in the industry. The initiative from the European Commission has drawn widespread criticism, with some countries arguing it lacks sufficient safeguards, while others, like Spanish Energy Minister Teresa Ribera, even calling it a mockery. The Commission has proposed introducing a cap when prices on the TTF exchange, Euro's gas benchmark, reached 275 pounds per megawatt hour, where electricity is produced using gas, and when prices are 58 euros, that's euros, sorry, 58 euros, or $59.53 higher than the LNG reference price for 10 consecutive trading days within 2 weeks. Both conditions need to be met for the cap to be triggered. I'm just triggered reading the damn article. I think it's going to get ugly over there for the folks across the pond. I really, really do. I've got a story that I know you all are going to believe. I know you're going to believe it. Because, I mean, who, why, what? Nah. Damn rats. Tell you what. The big rat problem around this police department. Police blame rats for missing cannabis. Well, what kind of rats are you talking about? The two-legged ones? Indian Police Service officials have pointed to fearless mice, fearless ones, as, I mean, you should have saw it. They weren't concerned about a thing. They just walked straight up, right? Broad daylight. Walked straight up, didn't give a shit. Got right in that bag and took a bite. I'm telling you, looked me right in the eyes with its beady little eyes as it did it. Anyway, they're the culprits responsible for the disappearance of hundreds of kilograms of cannabis seized from drug dealers and stored as evidence in drug peddling cases. My advice to anybody doing any type of investigation would be to look into missing, I don't know, LSD or mushrooms or something like that, because I think you might find the answer to the fearless mice. The unusual explanation came after a court in Uttar Pradesh state had asked law enforcement on Saturday to produce the confiscated marijuana for several ongoing drug cases dating back to 2018. Police reportedly responded by stating they couldn't provide the full amount because rats had destroyed 195 kilograms of the cannabis in one case. Let's see. The rodents, they said, had also eaten some of the evidence in another case involving 386 kilograms of the drug. Rats are tiny animals and they have no fear of the police, law enforcement officials said, stating that it's difficult to protect the drug from them. Madhura public prosecutor Ranveer Singh further explained that there is no place in the police station where cannabis could be safe from rats. I know, right? The whole damn department is full of them. I mean, what are you going to do? Judge Sanjay Chaudhary conceded that police did not have the expertise to deal with such tiny rodents and noted that, because they're fearless, though. The bastards, they may be small, but they're fearless. Don't forget that. They were in fear for their lives. They let them take the marijuana. They didn't know what they were going to do. I mean, what are you going to do when you got a gang of rats that come steal your bag of weed? What are you going to do? Nothing. That's what you're going to do. You're going to let them take the bag of weed. You're going to be scared to death. Why? Because they're fucking fearless. It says it right there. They're fearless. Sorry. Okay, enough of that. Okay. So, what are we going to do about this situation? The judge went on to suggest that the only way to protect the cannabis from such fearless mice was to auction it off to drug research labs and medicine firms and send the proceeds to the government. Right? The court has now ordered the police to find a way to deal with the rat menace. Gonna have to bring in a whole new HR department and fix the rat problem, and produce evidence that the rodents did indeed destroy the 581 kilograms of marijuana. Well, yeah, they left roaches all over the place. They didn't clean that shit up. There were hitters. There were glass pipes broken all over the floor. Right? Let's see. Anyway, a similar case occurred in 2018 in Argentina when 8 police officers were fired after they blamed mice for the disappearance of half a ton of cannabis from a police warehouse. Their claims were dismissed after forensics experts pointed out that it was unlikely that animals would confuse the drug with food and that there would have been a lot of corpses found in the warehouse if mice did consume the marijuana. Now, I'll disagree with that because I don't think it would kill the mice. Not for a second. But I will tell you what there will be all over. Mouse poop. I'm telling you, I did pest control. There will be mouse poop all over the place. If they ate that much weed in there, there would be mouse shit all over. Trust me, I know. So it won't be hard to prove if mice actually did eat that. So it'd be very obvious. So anyway, that's that nonsense. Really don't know of anything else to tell you about. Didn't like I said, didn't do anything today. Didn't do anything out of the ordinary at all. Let's see, still finishing up the organization between the closet and the spot that I've got back there in the kitchen. As soon as I get that squared away, I'll get that video shot to you, to y'all, and see what I've updated and upgraded there. And oh, thank you. It's good to laugh. I'll tell you, I really do think we've got some interesting times ahead, and I'm hoping that I'm wrong when it comes to the types of energy woes and stuff like that that I think we'll see here. I'm not so much, I don't think, worried about mass, these huge blackouts for extended periods of time. I don't know that I'm so much worried about that as much as I just think that the prices are going to get obnoxious. I mean, they already are, don't get me wrong. But I think the prices in the United States are going to skyrocket as well as soon as those, really. I mean, it's starting to get cold. I mean, we've already had some pretty cold nights. It's getting there. But within the next month and a half, it's going to be on. And I don't know that there's really going to be mass blackouts. I would highly encourage you to prepare, though, as if there could be such, because there very well may be, even if it's just a limited in scale situation. You could certainly be in an extended blackout. When I say extended, I'm say a week. Could even go 2 or 3. Just do what you can to be prepared. The hell are you two doing? Are you all doing? I was waiting to see this joke. I'll tell you, I think that natural gas is probably going to get hit the worst. And, now I see. I don't know. It just popped up. That's weird. That's weird. It just popped up. I think it's going to be the cost of, and I think it's going to be mainly natural gas. I think electricity is going to go up too. That's a given. But I think natural gas is really going to get hit, and I don't, unfortunately, think that much of that increase is going to be because of them needing to increase it to take care of us. As I've been saying, I think the United States consumer is going to be subsidizing, providing Ukraine and other countries over there with energy. I have no doubt of that. And that concerns me because people are stretched right now as it is, and things are going to continue to get worse because this whole thing where people are concerned about, layoffs and more layoffs, that's a real thing. That is a very, very real thing. I've been concerned about this for a long time. I'm the guy that back when there were all the ships setting off the coast, and they were trying to say, oh, well, we don't have the, we don't have the workers. We can't get the, all these goods off of the ships and, to the warehouses. I was saying back then that was horse shit. And I was saying that what they were doing was covering up the fact that a lot of people wasn't buying the extras. People tightened down. They had to. They had no choice. I've heard people talk, and bring up stimulus and talking points, several times. And that never made any sense to me because people didn't get that much money in stimulus that they could live a lavish lifestyle for the last 3 years. That's not what the situation was. And I think that a lot of sales dropped off then. I think after that period of point in time, I do think that sales increased some. But I think they've tapered back off, and I got this sneaky suspicion that sales are so far through the floor right now already. I really honestly think that they are really concerned about the sales tomorrow. I'm under the impression that the reason Black Friday gets its name is because many companies will run in the red. In other words, they'll run in debt throughout much of the year. And then during the Black Friday sales is when, they actually start to make a profit. That's where they make a large part of their earnings. And that's the way I had that explained to me. I don't think that their books are going to be in the black this year. I think their books are going to remain in the red. And I think many of these large companies know that. I think that's why they're laying off and preparing to lay off hordes more. I think that we're in for a world of hurt. I don't know what's going to happen. And that's also why I warn very heavily about this whole Great Reset nonsense, because that's exactly what they have in mind. They have in mind the economy. I'm not just talking about people's personal finances. I'm not talking about just corporate finances. I'm not just talking about nations' finances. I'm talking about international finances. I'm talking about from the top to the bottom. Are all in shambles right now. I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't think it's by accident. I think it's a very coordinated thing. And I think it's their intent to bring all these economies down so that they can really offer us the New Deal, which is what they've been getting people ready for decades now. The Real ID Act, I said it over a decade ago. I was warning people that was an international ID. They were just saying it was a national ID. I was warning back then it was an international ID. Oops. They had the whole social credit score system idea. They had the whole national ID, international ID system. They had all of that planned out over a decade ago. That's why I screamed and hollered back then for people to stay away from the Real ID Act. I have a feeling that things are going to slide, and they're going to slide quick. Because they're going to need that confusion. They're going to need that imbalance to get the people to turn over as easily as possible. Because I fully believe their intent is to get us so scared that we're ready to accept anything. Yep. Buck you too, Fitch. Yeah, I keep telling people that I was talking about this stuff, way long ago. I was talking about it even long before 2015. It's insane. Yeah, it's all the states. I believe all 50 states now are compliant. I don't know if there's any more holdouts. I know Oklahoma was holding out for a while, but then they gave in. And I know there were several states that had agreed, but they weren't compliant yet. But I'm pretty sure all the states are compliant at this time. So that means if you've got a valid state ID or driver's license, well, maybe not everybody, but most people are going to have a real ID. I'm sure there's still some individuals out there that might have a little bit of time left before renewal, before they'll be roped in. So I always tell people good luck with that. And I mean that. Good luck with that. No, thank you. Thank you. No, thank you. No, nowhere in the founding papers of this country would it allow for me to take upon myself an international ID. Nowhere, and I refuse. That simple. Now, it certainly causes a lot of issues in life, but now you know why I get a little pissy when I talk about the difference between walking the walk and talking the talk, you know? Because I'm telling you, it sucks to walk the walk, but it is what it is. Anyway, let me bring you back over and we'll get through some headlines and I'll get the hell out of here for the week. Let's see. Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's just all my life. That's what I've done. I mean, it's just weird. I can't even imagine life before the internet, but I know once I got online, that was it. I just, boom, stuck my head down and learned as quick as I could. And it is insane what they have planned. Let's see. U.S. says NATO ally directly threatened American troops. Brazil's Bolsonaro fined for challenging election results. EU prepares for subsidy race with the U.S., says Politico. A German gas giant seeks $53 billion bailout, says Reuters. Moscow reacts to CIA plan to recruit Russians. China sets record for daily COVID-19 cases. Sister of Kim Jong-un insults South Korea over sanctions. A Ukrainian plot to blow up Russian pipeline to Turkey foiled, says Moscow. Switzerland rules on arms deliveries to Russia and Ukraine. Iconic Soviet car brand makes a comeback. UK failed in Afghanistan, says a watchdog. I'm pretty sure all the countries failed in Afghanistan. A U.S. supplied missile hit Ukrainian home, says New York Times. Imagine that. Moscow outlines stance on talks with Washington. Eurozone to be hit hardest by global slowdown, says a report. Actually, I think I read that headline. I swear I heard the barking. I know I heard barking. Kremlin comments on strike targets in Ukraine. Almost 5 million refugees entered Russia since late February. Russia warns it will withdraw oil supplies to price cap countries. Leaked messages reveal how AP published false Russian missile story. Russian MPs approved complete ban of LGBTQ propaganda. Yesterday we covered the article where it went up for vote. Apparently it was approved. I'm not shocked at all. Russian Ministry of Defense assesses latest wave of strikes against Ukraine. Key Russian ally paints grim picture for Ukraine if it won't negotiate. EU fails to agree on gas price cap, says Hungary. UN knows who shells largest nuclear plant in Europe, says Moscow. Good night, BC. Hope you have a good evening. Let's see. Putin speaks on use of AI. Did a report on that one. Estonia warns it may veto EU price cap on Russian oil. Putin offers tax incentives for use of domestic technology. A Serbian president feels no joy over EU brokered deal. Yeah, I didn't feel any joy over it either. An eco-activist sentenced for vandalizing Van Gogh. Did they, raise him from the dead, or at least exhume him when they vandalized him? Oh, you mean his art. Boris Johnson's claim about Ukraine is utter nonsense, says Germany. A man goes on shooting rampage after losing court battle, and says media. That was in Russia. A Serb leader says Joe Biden congratulated him on a non-holiday. Are you surprised? Let's see. Joe celebrates on days he doesn't poop his pants, so... Ukrainian city to dismantle statue to iconic Russian. Ukrainian mayor fined for using Russian language. He gets an ice cream for the days he doesn't poop his pants. I need to quit. EU country blacklists Ukrainian singer. Let's see. Eco-activists blocked Berlin airport for over an hour. Russian soldiers return from Ukrainian captivity. Musk announces Twitter amnesty. And lastly, Facebook uncovers U.S. military-linked propaganda campaign. Uh-oh. The covert operation pushing pro-U.S. and anti-Russia narratives was previously exposed by researchers. Yeah, well. Too bad I don't pay attention to what they, those, them think. Facebook's parent company Meta has acknowledged the discovery of several clusters of fake accounts and pages believed to be linked to individuals associated with the U.S. military, according to the company's latest adversarial threat report published this week. You hear this? This is kind of interesting. Although the people behind this operation attempted to conceal their identities and coordination, our investigation found links to individuals associated with the U.S. military, the company said in a blog post on Tuesday. The influence campaign was discovered earlier this year, and in total, Meta removed 39 Facebook and 26 Instagram accounts, as well as 16 pages and 2 groups, all for violating the company's policy against coordinated, inauthentic behavior. The social media giant admitted that the large-scale operation ran beyond those several dozen accounts and across many other internet platforms, including Twitter, YouTube, and Telegram, as well as major Russian social networks. I don't even know how to say that, or that. It seemingly attempted to downplay the discovery by insisting that the majority of this operation's posts had little to no engagement from authentic communities, and highlighting similar deceptive campaigns by China and Russia. Crazy. Anyway, that's the news. I'm gonna get out of here. I don't know. I'm not quite as tired as I was yesterday, but I'm still pretty tired. I am gonna get out of here and head to bed. God willing, I will be back Sunday. We'll cover some more nonsense again, and I hope to see you all then. So, I appreciate you coming. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit, and shalom.